Today, we're going to build a simple desktop app using Python that lets us add people's names and ages into a database, and we'll do it with a cool GUI using DearPyGui. First things first, to follow along, you need to install the DearPyGui module. Just run this command in your terminal or command prompt. The installation won't take long, just a few seconds and you're ready. Now let's get started with our code. We're importing two things, SQLite 3, which helps us work with databases, and DearPyGui, which will let us create our GUI window easily. We then define a function that creates a table in our database. When we run this, it checks if the table already exists, and if not, it creates one with 3 columns, an ID that auto-increments, a name, and an age. Once this runs, our database file is created and it's ready to store data. Next up, we move on to building the GUI. We set up a context and create a viewport, basically the window where our app will live. Inside that window, we add input fields for the name and age, a save button, and a place to show messages to the user. When you run the program now, you'll see a neat little window with those inputs and the button, but the save button doesn't do anything yet. We need to tell it what to do when it's clicked. So here comes the magic function. It grabs the values typed into the name and age fields. If both fields have something, it connects to the database, inserts the new record, and then clears the inputs. It also shows a success message, but if you forgot to fill something, it politely asks you to fill all fields. To make this work, we link this function to the save button as its callback. So when you click save, this function runs. Run it again, and now when you type a name and age and hit save, your data gets stored in the database. You can add multiple entries like this, no problem. I'm going to add 3 different people real quick, so we have some data ready. In the next example, we'll learn how to display these records right inside the app. We start by importing the same 2 modules, SQLite 3 for the database and DearPyGui for the GUI. Then we create a context and set up a viewport. This is the window that'll hold everything. Inside the window, we add a button labeled Load Records, and below that, we create a table. This table has 3 columns, ID, name, and age. We also give it some styling options like row backgrounds and resizable columns. Now when we run the program, you'll see a nice GUI window with a button and an empty table, but nothing happens when we click the button yet. Let's fix that by assigning a task to the button, something to run when it's clicked. We define a function that connects to the database and grabs all the records from the people table. It then clears any previous rows from the GUI table to avoid duplicates. After that, it loops through the results and adds a new row for each record, displaying the ID, name, and age. To make this function run when we click the button, we need to link it as a callback, just like we did with the save button in the previous example. Now when we run the program again and click Load Records, we can see the people we added earlier, right inside the table. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more simple Python GUI examples. See you in the next one.